Well, you're starting again. I don't know what I'm gonna be drawing. I took time to like actually collect reference photos for the last thing that I was drawing. But it seems that if I want to draw or stream it all today, that I'm gonna have to work on something completely different. Um, uh, I have other ideas for things that I wanted to draw, but they also involve like they also involve the beach alts, and I think at this point I'm just going to play it safe, and I'm not going to on this YouTube channel, at least for live streams, because I don't think I've had this issue before with my videos, where in which I'm pretty sure I have drawn people with bathing suits. I've never, but yeah, I'm just gonna not live stream any bathing suit or beach related thing. If it doesn't cover like from the like upper part of the chest to below the or to like the mid thighs, I guess I'm just gonna not stream it, because it hasn't had any issues with me streaming Kasumi. I actually don't know if I've drawn Kasumi's normal outfit on stream, so maybe I shouldn't say that. But I don't think I've had any issues before like this. I don't know. I'm just gonna play it safe, and I'm just gonna say on stream, no beach related stuff. Even though I have done a video with someone in a bathing suit that was, I think, like similar. Let me see if I can find it. Channel videos. It's like an old video. I mean, you can see a lot of my videos are old videos because I didn't use this channel, or I've only very rarely, occasionally used this channel for a few years. Uh, but yeah, I've had videos where people aren't, or not people, but like my drawings aren't wearing a lot. Okay, no, okay, the last video I did that had a bathing suit, she was like fully, like, at least her stomach was covered, so I'm guessing that's it. It's just like, they probably think that it's like underwear of some sort if it doesn't cover like the full torso-ish area. But yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna draw. There are a lot of things that are in my works in progress, but I don't really feel like touching them, or else I would have just drawn them already. Yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll do a redraw of this old thing, because now that I know that, like, oh, that won't get flagged, but this is allowed technically, but yeah, no, I'm just not gonna touch any beach stuff, I guess. I was taking reference photos, and there's one that I had taken that I particularly liked, but I had never used apparently, so maybe I'll draw something based off of that. I don't know which character I would draw, but yeah, you can see me doing some cool sword poses, knowing nothing about wielding a sword. But yeah, for lately, I don't go to Google or anything for references for poses. Even unless they're like, I need it from like an upper angle, or it's like an angle that I don't know how to get. But lately, for like all my poses that I've just gone to like taking pictures in my room. You can see kind of generally how messy my room is. It is messier right now, but I took this one a while back. don't know what character I would use it for, but I guess I'll start off with something. It feels like kind of a Felix pose, but maybe that's just because it has a sword in it. I might do a trace over first so I can see the general proportions, because that's generally okay. So generally how I use my reference photos is that I will do a trace over of the actual photo to get the general shape that I want, or to figure out the general shape that I want, because I'm really bad at estimating it. Plus, maybe I want to like exaggerate some parts of it first, or like before I like start getting into like the details, and I want to establish that like earlier on. But yeah, I generally figure out what I want to take from the photo based on like tracing it over. Plus, I have to like unlongen limbs because I am short. That's like the number one annoying thing about using myself as a like reference photo material, is that I am short. Like, I keep looking at this and I'm like, damn, I know people in anime, their torsos are like pretty long, but I'm 5'2", so it becomes like exceptionally more difficult to find, like, to match proportions with like anime characters, because I'm a short person. So at this point, I just figure out the proportions. I start messing around with them. Like, and then from there I can like start like actually drawing. Yeah. The only time that I really like actually trace reference photos are when it is usually hands and I'm like literally cannot figure it out. But even then, like, usually the angle is wrong, so I can never like directly trace them. If you look at my photo album on your computer, there's so many pictures of hands, like my hands doing weird things, because I don't know how to make them look natural when I draw hands, is the problem. I like really like exaggerating certain shapes, and they never really quite turn out, they never quite turn out like natural looking enough, even when I try, so I have to usually reference like other or like an actual photo. But yeah, that's typically the only time I like truly like trace an image, because otherwise I would like to just try to learn to figure out how to do it on my own. Yeah, this is okay. I should probably add the sword so I have a reference for what's going on. I have the figure that I think I was like looking more down in this photo. No, I was looking over this way. Okay. I should note that. I like honestly don't know how I took this photo. Usually when I take photos, it takes a little bit to be able to get them looking natural in any capacity. I look very posed. And that's mostly a part of it is me trying to like match poses in my head, and then I realize how weird it is, so just like moving around a lot and it looks strange. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how to do it. Posing has always been super hard. Like when I've been posing for cosplay, I either can't think of poses, or the poses I do are all like bland and very obviously posed. There's only one that I could like think of in the latest like photos that I took that I really liked how it turned out. That's a one costume picture with like the like row of cards around my head. I had other ones that looked less posed, but I wasn't a fan of how my wig looked in them, so it looked very much like a weird costume. Okay, I added bobby pins to keep it in place, but I was not strategic about the placing of them, and so the bobby pins like did not do a lot to help it going like back. It kept it on, but it just didn't kept it on very well. Okay, time to figure out this pose. Yeah, I will. Yeah, the reason that I like prepping my references before I stream is because I don't really particularly love showing just the weird poses and things that I make, especially because the pictures that I take, I usually have to do it in more like skin tight clothing, or just like clothing that doesn't obstruct a lot. So, um, usually I'm in like a really tight shirt or like yeah, I'm wearing a lot more tight clothing, and that particular one I made the probably like it's very difficult to use this photo set because I wore black pants and a black shirt in a dark room, and so some of the details are kind of easily lost. But I think for the most part I can use them. It's not the easiest set of photos I've used, but you know, you make do. I feel like I had a better. What am I missing here? This is missing something. The angles are weird. But yeah, I usually do like somewhere between 3 to 6 per like sketch layers where I like slowly make them look better. Um, like I'll usually get one that's just like the gesture of it. And then like even then I would say that the gesture drawings are barely even that. They look more like thumbnails but gigantic because the gestures do not match the motion of the final image usually in any way. Sorry after dealing with me eating. I'm very hungry. I kind of just forgot to eat. And then my mom made lasagna and baked some homemade pie. So I was like, of course I gotta try that. I assumed that's what she was gonna do. She bought like a crap ton of raspberries, and there were so many. Um, but I was thinking like she can't expect us to eat all of this. Just like before they go bad because there's so many. It's like, oh no, she made a pie. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, I think I need to push this up. Or make this leg, I need to make this leg longer, I think. It's either I need to make it longer or thinner. Because this, I feel like there's a larger gap. I feel like there's a larger gap. Part of me just wants to blow this up to see like how it would compare. Might do that. Okay. Let's see what's up with this. I mean, I got it, like, pretty good. I just need to move this leg up. I'm kind of surprised how close on the proportions I got. Anyway. Yeah, this needs to just go up, I guess. What was weird? Okay. Because the length is fine. It's just not strange. Yeah, I'm gonna figure this out. Did I look like? I wonder if the verified people on Twitter ever got the ability to tweet back. I assume they did. I assume they wouldn't let it go on for like more than a couple days. But that was a weird time. Okay, so there's like a pinky area, and then I'm like, man, I can't even. I'm surprised how like clean this is turning out on like a first sketch type thing, because usually my first sketches are so messy. Although I feel like now that I've been using references a lot more, my first sketches don't have to be as messy because I already have like a basis to work off from. Like, usually first sketches are just not even figuring proportions. I really don't know what the point of first sketches are. It's just to help me visualize where I'm going with something, make sure it like kind of fits within the canvas. Although usually I have to adjust it, or things will not be as big or as small as I thought they would be. Okay, before I continue, I need to figure out what character this is. I really don't know. I don't want to be Felix. No offense, Felix. I love him, but I hate him. I don't know how else to describe it. He's great, but I hate him. He's aggravating, but he is really something. I know a lot of people who feel about Sylvain the same way, where you're just like, man, I love him, but he's the worst. And not even in a like, oh man, like he may do some bad things, but I love him. It's just like, man, he annoys me, but why is he my favorite character? Yeah, that's how I feel that way with Felix. And then I think that's kind of how I feel the same way with Lorenz, where I'm just like, Lorenz genuinely upsets me. It's not like a fun jokey, like, oh man, it's so frustrating that he's there and he's like, he's so bad that it's funny. It's just like, he genuinely irritates me. Um, but I feel this weird sort of like love in my heart for him, and I don't know why. He has, he does grow. I'm not gonna say that he has like no character and he's just like bad or whatever. He has a character, and there's a reason why he acts that way, but it still doesn't fail to annoy me. So for anyone who does like Lorenz, I'm very sorry that I don't like him. I think he is well written, and I think that he has a lot of good quality traits about him, and there's a lot of reasons to unironically like him. But I don't know. I personally, I just could never. I don't really get it. I feel like I need to fix this post a little. Now that I'm looking at it, it kind of looks a little. I feel like I need to lean forward a bit more. Who could it be? Who could it be? It doesn't really. I don't know. I like don't know what vibes I would get from this. Like which character. I feel like I need to fix this knee too. I'm just gonna keep talking about this while I fix like weird anatomical things that I'm noticing. But I wanted to go into this drawing Awakening, but I don't know if this really fits the vibe of any of the Awakening people. I don't know, Sayri, like maybe one of the Swords Masters. I don't know. I'm trying to think of characters I actually like that I would want to draw this way, because this does not look like the sort of fighting stance of Lucina or Crom or any of the other like swords people that I enjoy. I knew I drew Mark with a sword as well, but same photo set that I took these. This was actually me trying to figure out a pose for Mark, but I did not think this one suited her, so that's why I did not use it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who to draw. Maybe I'll just do Lucina. I don't think I've done a Lucina drawing in a hot second, even though I probably definitely did draw a Lucina drawing like last week or something. Yeah, I'm so stupid. I don't know what keeps getting removed. I literally zoomed out on accident for like 1 second and I noticed it immediately and I was like, oh shoot, I shouldn't have done that. And then like, I was like, okay, maybe they didn't notice, and like 30 seconds later got taken down. Yeah. So I'm working on a completely new drawing now because I don't know what else to do. I don't know how I could live stream that drawing. I'm gonna look into Twitch if I really want to keep live streaming it, but at this point I'm just like, I don't think it's worth it. I'm gonna draw it, but it's not gonna be on stream. Hopefully, because that kind of ruined my motivation to continue with it. I do want to, because I think that Beach Robin is cute, but I just can't. The main reason that I wanted to stream was so I could like make myself draw, but can't really. And like to keep my attention on drawing because I get distracted a lot. So let's hope that I don't get distracted doing the other one. Yeah, I officer, take me away. I drew someone in a bathing suit. Maybe I should have finished eating before I started the stream. But yeah, it's I honestly can't believe that it was that sensitive to just 1 second of it. I guess if like in the logic, if it was someone that was actually nude, I feel like even showing 1 second would be pretty valid to want to take down, because then you can see it on the playback and pause it. But still, very annoying. Where's my straight lines thing? But yeah, for now, I think I'm gonna draw Lucina. Even though I don't think this is a very Lucina pose, because I don't think this is how she swords fights, but I don't know. I don't know who else it could be. I was saying before that, like, maybe Felix or something, but I hate that bitch-ass little punk. I say, a huge Felix fan. But yeah, it's been a hot second since I've drawn Lucina. Actually, I'm genuinely curious. When was the last time I drew Lucina? Let us look at my media tab. I'm gonna bet that it was like a week or 2 weeks ago. It was June 20th, so it's actually been a while. Interesting. Wait, no. This is a retweet, I think. Is it? I don't know. It's been a while since I've drawn Lucina. I'll just say that. Ooh, okay, let's see. That's the line of action. So I'll have... Trying to figure out what exactly I want to do with Lucina's hair. I think I might draw it just short, because I don't really feel like rendering all of it. Also, I just like her short hair. Time to look up pictures of Marth. Or Mass Lucina. Because if I just realized if I search up actual... if I just search Marth, I'm gonna get, you know, actual Hero King Marth. And I don't know anything about the earlier Fire Emblem games. Okay, time to... I don't know, do something with this. Man, Lucina has like a way better sense of fashion than her dad, but she's supposed to be the, like, one who's bad at fashion. I suppose that makes sense in a way, because she didn't grow up with the assumingly more fashion-forward mother. But she has friends who would probably not allow her to wear, like, horrible things. But yeah, Crom's fashion sense is tragic, and he passed it down onto his daughter. Yeah, I'm gonna try to play the earlier Fire Emblem games eventually. I don't know which one. I said that I asked my friends, like, which Fire Emblem game should I play next? And even though I said I wasn't gonna play Fates, I started playing Fates. I haven't gotten very far into it. I made the choice to play Conquest, and then I played like one chapter after, and then that's as far as I've gotten. The thing that's really getting me through it, aside from the fact that I'm not excited to learn about the plot, is A, the gameplay's pretty fun. B, I'm not sure, I don't remember if I posted this, but I named my Corin Ya Little Bitch or something like that. So every time like someone like tries calling out for them. I think like I think it was Hinoka. I'm really bad with the people, like everyone's names, but Hinoka was like, oh no, it wasn't you little bitch, it was you sick fuck. Which I'm surprised that let me do that. Because I know it's like they allow for like street pass stuff, I think, and I don't know if it's gonna show my Corin's name. Um, Not that I'm using Street Pass right now, but just like I'm kind of surprised that something that with like a like wireless functionality would allow me to put in that. Um, but yeah, it's either gonna be it's either me continuing with Fates or I'm gonna try playing the GameCube game. I think it's Radiant Dawn. I really want to play like an actual copy of it though, because I love the GameCube. One of my friends has it, so hopefully when all of this is over, we can just like play it or whatever. I've seen some of the cutscenes in it, and they're really funny, just because they're like very obviously like early 2000s cutscenes. It's very entertaining. Yeah, I'm no Street Pass for me. I'm also doing I'm doing an illegal, so I'm emulating the game, so I can't use Street Pass anyway. But I'm thinking in the original game, like, why would it allow you to do name yourself stuff like that? But yeah, I'm just gonna pull up a picture of Lucina on the side over here. Do-do-do. I still don't understand how Lucina's hair does this. I know there's there is an actual explanation and a breakdown of her hair, but it still makes like no sense to me. Like I get it, like I mechanically understand it. However, there is too much hair, I think, to actually hide it in the way that they are suggesting that it is being hidden. Um, I think I can hide this for now. I think I generally know what the pose looks like. Ooh. Yeah, I'm very excited to play more of the Fire Emblem games. Eventually, just cause like I'm discovering like, hey, I'm not great at them, but they're actually like pretty fun compared to say I don't know, like other turn-based RPGs. Cause I'm really bad at video games. I think I've gone at this at length. I'm bad at video games, and one of the only reasons I can like play a lot of video games is like or play video games is just because there's a whole genre that's like take your time. It's gonna be like individual like turns, and you can take as long as you want to strategize. I'm not good at strategizing, but it's nice that I can like take that breather because I'm not great under pressure of time limits. Majora's Mask is not like a hard game, I think, by any means, but it is. I cannot do it because the time limit stresses me out too much. So, yay, turn-based RPGs exist, but I think a lot of turn-based RPGs are really boring, like gameplay-wise. I don't feel like they're, like I like the stories, but a lot of the times the moment-to-moment gameplay is not very engaging to me. Like, I hardly ever use status effects in games. The only time that I've actually been using status effects, like, is Royal. Like, I never use them in vanilla, but it reminded me that status effects were a thing, and then it forced certain bosses to use status effects. And now I just, like, am actually thinking about, like, keeping the status effect moves as opposed to just, like, why would I do this when I can just get, like, way higher damage or whatever? Because I actually find them to be more useful. I don't know. But for the most part, a lot of them just felt like, okay, well, debuff the enemy and buff yourself and then attack and then just do that over and over and over and over again at repeat. But yeah, it really did not feel like I was making meaningful decisions in any like of the RPGs that I've been playing. And I know that they have more depth to them, but I never felt like forced to think deeper than I really had to. It never encouraged me necessarily to, or like a lot of the games I was playing never really encouraged me to think harder. And maybe that was just because I was playing like so like the Persona games on like easier difficulties and even on normal difficulty, I guess. Um, and Pokemon and things like that, but I never felt like I had to do any sort of like status moves. Um, oh, I've not tried the Valkyria Chronicles. I, strangely enough, have merch for Valkyria Chronicles though, because my brother got me like buttons or something like that. I had no idea what it was, but I was like, these designs look cool, and so he gave me buttons of them, and I don't know. It never occurred to me that maybe I could like play them. um, but yeah, I'm glad Royal has made some like pretty. I'm glad I'm fine. I think Royal is like actually a pretty good like RPG compared to like so many other of the Persona games that I played. I don't think the RPG like the combat aspect was really what appealed to me at all. It was really just the social aspect in the story. And Persona 5 was like definitely was an improvement. They tried adding like more things to the gameplay, but it never like pushed it to really make me want to like go out of my bubble and play it like more than how I would just like play Pokemon. Just like I'm just gonna buff myself and then like you have to buff the enemy. Um, it's really it. But yeah, I hopefully will find like more kind of RPGs that sort of encourage you to think harder. I feel like any sort of tactical RPG already inherently has like infinitely more possibilities. Even though not every tactical RPG is going to be the deepest, but you can get pretty deep with it. I feel like just because there's a whole bunch more variety, and it actually encourages you to do so. uh, but yeah, I didn't play Three Houses necessarily the most like tactical way because I over leveled everyone. Um, but I definitely felt like I was thinking a lot more about how to spend like my time and resources more than other games. Persona 5 just had so many days that it was kind of hard to like judge the scope of like how much time you have. I think I've heard like I was watching a stream and someone was saying something similar to this, so I might just be repeating them. But yeah, Persona 5 like it was a little more difficult to like judge the scope of the time period. Well, there's Three Houses. I mean, you can get a similar amount of time to Persona 5. You can have like 10 things you do in one day as opposed to like having like living out every single day. Um, but I don't know. It just it felt like a Persona 5 was just like, oh, I don't get to it today. Like, oh, I guess I'll just do it some other day then. As opposed to like, okay, I need to get it done. Like, I need to get this thing done this week because then the like every week I have like instructions and I have to figure out which students I'm going to prioritize. It was a bit more manageable to me and it just felt a little bit more meaningful. Um, yeah, Persona 5 just had a huge scope and you never quite knew which days were going to be playable. I could never keep track of exactly like, okay, so we're going to have a story event here, a story event here, and a story event here, unless I like literally laid it all out and then like marked off which days aren't playable. Because sometimes I would have a plan where, like, oh, this person shows up on, like, Thursday. I found it very annoying, I will say, that Persona 5 got rid of the thing where it says which days they hang out on, and so you just have to keep track of that yourself. I don't. Like, I don't even look up a guide for it because I'm just like, I guess I'll just see who shows up today. Um, but yeah, it's very. The time management aspect was a little too much for me in P5. Because I never felt like I was really meaningfully managing it. Meanwhile, like, Three Houses is very consistent, where it's like you get to see the whole month ahead, and you know exactly which days are playable, and you know, like, what's going to come up every single week and who's available because it's everyone. Um, it's like, I guess for other people, maybe the time management would be like less daunting to them in Persona 5, but not me. I like there are people who draft up like exact guides on how to 100% this game on the first playthrough. But I think it's more interesting, at least personally, it was more interesting to me to just like try to see, like, stumble my way through maximizing my time, like trying to figure it out on my own. Um, but once again, I never felt like I could really do it in a meaningful way. I don't know how I'm cleaning up these lines. I'm gonna end up erasing them anyway. Because Lucina has. Oh my god, I hate everyone in the. Like, I hate everyone's shoes in this game so much. Like, they all look ridiculous. I don't understand any of them. I refuse to draw any of Robin's boots. Just. I don't understand why Robin is wearing, like, boots in their beach alt anyway, but. Yeah. They're also wearing gloves, which is a strange thing. I don't really get why. I guess don't want to be stung by jellyfish? Who knows? Oh my gosh, Lucina's wearing the same stupid thing her dad is, like the same boot covers over, like, or underneath other shoes. Yeah. I guess it really just depends on everyone's, like, experience with the game, but that was just kind of my feelings on P5. Um, I guess, like, only when I started playing Royal, I feel like I really started trying to maximize my time. Like, I felt like a bit more effective at maximizing my time, and that was because I already had, like I hadn't had, like, everything memorized, so it wasn't like I have complete knowledge of Persona 5, but I was just remembering things from vanilla, and I felt a little bit more equipped to get through everything. I'm trying to 100% the achievements right now. And I will say I've already messed up. Like, I am going to I don't actually know. I think I can still, I think in terms of achievements, I don't have to get every single what's it called? I don't have to max out every single confidant. I think they got rid of that and moved that to awards. But I I messed up. I did not realize that you could not continue the strength confidant in the third semester. And now that I'm thinking about it, like, that would make a lot of sense because it's only, like, it's supposed to be a thing exclusive to the twins, and when they're not twins anymore, then whoa, I guess you can't continue it. Um, yeah. I'm gonna, still though, I'm gonna try going back to do the twins before I finish, or sorry, not before I finish. After I finish my current playthrough, I'm gonna go revert to an earlier save, and then try maxing out the twins before fighting Yaldabaoth. And I don't actually know if the awards section makes you need to be able to finish all the confidants in one playthrough, but I know that it's going to be kind of annoying to do New Game Plus um, if I can't use my personas that are like higher level. Because I would love to be able to summon and fuse personas that are higher level. Thank you, twins. That should just be a thing that you can do by default. I want to be extra powerful. Oh my god, yes, I can't believe they made an achievement for every single persona. Before, I was like, I am going to platinum vanilla, and then I kept getting back to get every single persona, and then I was like, I don't want to do this. It's not fun to me. Like, navigating like through all the menus and going through the calculators are so obnoxious. Um, I cannot believe there's so many in the compendium and so many ways to get each. Why did they ever think that would be a smart thing to add as an achievement? Yeah, but oh my god, I can't. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever finish the compendium in any of the games. Just because like menuing in that way has never been my favorite thing. I remember when I was playing P3P, I was just trying to fuse one persona. I was trying to fuse a bunch of them. I was just trying to fuse. Who was I trying to fuse? Maybe it was Thanatos. I think it was Thanatos, and I spent like an hour and a half or something like that just trying to get Thanatos because I didn't have a lot of the necessary personas to get there, and it's so obnoxious. I hated it. Yeah, I'm really happy that they moved it to like an optional in-game thing, and not that it wasn't optional to begin with, but I'm glad they didn't make it part of like the achievements because I feel like a lot of people are fine with just it's not like obnoxiously like on your profile like haha you've gotten every single achievement but one of them, and then just kept it as like an in-game awards thing where the only thing that you get from it is like getting more like what are they called, like P coins, I don't know. Yeah, I like have not been fusing a lot of personas in my game, like in my currently playthrough for Royal. um I have I have been sticking with like one main persona, and I've currently like I've finally retired it. I think it's not fused away yet, but I've been running a Shiki Oji strat because it is I think it nulls physical, and uh, yeah, I think it nulls physical, and it nulls light dark skills. Oh, I didn't finish Royal yet. I got into the mysterious palace, and I know who the ruler is and everything. But for the sake, in case anyone watches the playback and doesn't want to be spoiled, I'm not going to talk at length on it on stream. But yes, I got to the last. I'm at the last palace, and I was in the middle of a fight, and then I fell asleep. So I don't remember exactly where I am. Um, but yeah, I'm very excited to finish it though. After all this time, I'm finally at the third semester. What was I doing? I don't remember. This looks wrong and weird, and I don't know how to fix it. So well. Lucina, your outfit is also really strange. I'm gonna fight this entire family. Yeah, I'm really liking Royal. I wish that this had been like my first Persona 5 experience, to be honest. Um, not that I don't think it's not that I think vanilla is bad. I just think that Royal is like it fixes a lot of just a lot of things that I wasn't a fan of in the original. Mostly like baton pass stuff. I kept consistently wanting to baton pass to someone, but I just could never do it in the early game, so I really only took advantage of it in the later part of the game. But I feel like that gets rid of a lot of the like strategy in the early game, which it's already like begging for like more like complexity to be added earlier on. So I'm glad they trusted with us to do it from the beginning. Yeah, Persona 5 it's a good game, but it is not. I feel like it just needed a little extra more. Um, Also, I'm glad. Oh my god, I know I'm a little biased because I'm like an Akechi fan, but I honest to God, it really needed like an Akechi confidant, like a real one to begin with. Uh, First of all, so he doesn't look so suspicious because he's so suspicious in the original. But I feel like at this point they've kind of embraced the suspicion of him. But it feels weird because it a lot of the game you're like reaching out to him. At least that's how I kind of saw it. It's like you're reaching out to him, and then it's all tragic when he betrays you. I don't know. It feels a little. I feel like forcing to hang out with him. It feels a little less tragic because it's just like, oh well, we had to be with him. Yeah, we're only understanding him because we have to, and not because the character, like the main. Sorry, it's not like the player wanted to. Kind of just everyone had to forcefully had to like understand him. Um, but uh, yeah, it's just nice to be able to for the player to make the meaningful choice of spending their time with him, as opposed to yeah, just being forced to. Because it makes it feel like you want to do this because you are willingly doing it and not the game is making you do it. Oh yeah. I think that's fair. I'm glad that they've put like a lot more attention on him in the game because I hate his writing in vanilla so much. He, in my opinion, is terribly written in vanilla. I haven't gotten far enough in Royal to make a judgment on it, but oh my god, his whole implementation was terrible. The reason that I like Akechi is because of the potential. I like the fan works that try to change or improve upon the text because it's clear that if they had like a more clear um, ideology for him and a little bit of a more like if they got on a little deeper into his past and tried to like genuinely make him sympathetic, he would have been a great character. But they didn't do any of that. They're just no like he had a bad childhood and he hated his dad and so he went and did a murder and I'm like oh my god, it's like it's probably deeper than that, you just don't want to show it. Yeah, Kechi is I was about to say he's my favorite character. That's a lie. Futaba is my favorite character. I like Kechi is he's one of my favorites. um, as I don't know how much you can see of my wall, but wow, I have a whole Akechi wall. One of the, or specifically a Shuake wall, because there's a lot of Akira in here too, but, yeah. I, I actually, because of the delay on the stream, I don't know how much you can see of it, but, I feel like I've done, like, no drawing and just almost all talking. Yeah. I have, it's currently disassembled until I get, like, an actual Ita bag, because of the number of times I've lost things on it, but I have a tote bag that I was using as an Eda bag, but it had no cover, so like things would just fall off. And my solution to that was I would write my email on the back of all of the merchandise I had. Still didn't stop me from losing an Akechi pin that I don't think the artist sells anymore, which made me very sad. And so it's part of the reason that I like definitely disassembled it, because I didn't want to look at how it was missing. But yeah, I had a tote bag, and on the front it was all Shuake. It was like all Akiren and Akechi. And then I had a thing where someone asked me like, "Oh, it's like they must be your favorite character." And then I turned it around. I was like, "Surprise, bitch!" And it was just a bunch of Futaba. It was like, no, Futaba's my favorite. Yes, I will. Yes, I will very like excitedly talk about royal stuff once I'm done. I might do like a stream where it's me just drawing royal stuff, and then I'll just tag it as spoilers so people know not to watch it unless they finished. Um, yeah, I'm gonna give it like I think I'm gonna give it like a literal whole calendar year before I start talking about like royal spoilers publicly. Um, because I know some people like just they're like I'm gonna wait till it's on sale to play it, and that won't happen for a while. But I feel like after a year, most people who are interested in playing it will have done it. I'll still tag them obviously, but I just won't post it anywhere on like any of my public media. So I'm just gonna keep it to like my persona account. But yeah, I'm very excited to see more cool royal stuff. I'm glad that uh, I'm kind of like, I'm almost a little glad that my convention that I was going to got canceled, because I definitely feel like if I were going to the Persona meetup, that I would have gotten spoiled on something. I feel like, I feel like, due to me cosplaying Kasumi, I would have had either I would have her code name, I think, spoiled. Not that I not I did already have her code name spoiled just because I wanted to know what it was. But I would have had her some other select information about her spoiled as well. I feel like people would have addressed me in a way that would have spoiled me. But you know, it's occurring to me I actually don't know what Lucina's mask looks like, so I should like look at that. I've just kind of been guessing. Okay. I've gotten it kind of wrong. I kind of just I think this is me trying to do more Jerome's mask now that I'm looking at it. Uh, okay, I'm gonna fix this. What is happening in this mask? I'm so confused. Okay, so it like goes up over her forehead as well. There's like another layer to it. I'm sure this is not as complicated as I'm making it out to be, but I have never drawn it before, so it's a little like I'm just stumbling through it. But yeah, I'll figure it out. Oops, I accidentally closed that. Yes, this is my Lucina now. Lucina just wears whatever I feel like drawing. It's a lot easier to get away with that with Robin, because Robin is like fully customizable. But you know. I just Fire Emblem designs, they make me lose it a little bit. I'm like, what is this? Like, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever to me. Um, and as when I'm drawing it, usually I can just feel like, okay, well, whatever. But like, as someone who also cosplays, some of these designs drive me up the wall. Um, there was one, my friend was working on like a commission, I think, or something of, I don't know, was it Caspar? And like, she had like the same exact feelings that I had about the Garreg Mach uniforms. How do they get in or out of them? Because there is seemingly no seam lines. Um, for like, there's buttons, but there's no like clear like opening or closing to them. I don't get it. They can't get like the male uniform specifically. They can't get out of them. Um, so also Nintendo. How bad of an ass can we put on it? Yeah, you have to make sacrifices sometimes to the authenticity of the design because there's literally no way to get into or out of these things. All the people who cosplay Tharja, good on you for figuring out a way to like actually wear whatever like mesh sheer bodysuit she's wearing. They teleport into the clothes. They use magic. Like Caspar's like, "Hey Linhart, I need to put my shirt on," and he's like, "Please stop asking me and please get better clothes." I feel like I need to sit up because I'm like so far leaned back that I don't know how well the camera's picking me up. I feel like her hair is fluffier. Oops, not that far zoomed in. But yeah, I do like Lucina's design. I'm just like, once you look at it too hard, you're like, what is happening? Like, mostly my number one issue with Awakening is the shoes. I don't understand anyone's shoes. I see cosplayers like try their best. They just don't look natural. Like the cosplayers will make them look good, but they look really chunky. That's the thing. It's just like they're well crafted, but they look so awkward to me. Um, like, what is the point of all this like weird padding? Who knows? But yeah, that's the number one thing. I just want to fix Crom and Lucina's shoes like real bad. Also, I just want to see Crom without his cape, which I know a picture of that exists, but it's so funny to me. He looks ridiculous. Well, them slide into the clothes. Different ways that you can get into weird clothes. I guess theoretically they could just be made of some stretch material, but I don't know why they would make uniforms like that, because everything else has been like buttoned up closures. Okay, Lucina, we're finally moving on from your hair. Okay, she's wearing like a turtleneck. It's also like some weird bodysuit, but you know, maybe she's just wearing a similarly patterned leggings. As he growing up close. Honestly, yeah. I mean, it's kind of hard to see, but like, I would pull it up on stream. But once again, I'm worried about nudity. I did draw Crom in a bathing suit earlier. Um, I don't. Also, I'm sure there's a lot of artists on Pixiv who have done that exact thing. See, there's a reason I wanted to draw Robin in a bathing suit, and that was not just because it's like just a fun summer thing, and also I'm gay, but because I did not want to draw all the details of this. uh, does Lucina have any alts? Like, I know I'm gonna look up the. I'm pretty sure she has like alts, but I know they're all more complicated than what I'm currently drawing. Maybe I'll try to draw. Maybe I will try to do a Valentine's Day alt for her because I don't want to draw this. Because I was just wanted to do like something chill and like this design. It's not the most complicated thing in the world. I just was not really wanting to do any sort of like I didn't want to do a lot of details in rendering. It's a lot easier to render skin for me than like clothing. Huh. Oh, you know, I just realized I was trying to look up if Lucina had any alts. I think it's kind of sad that it's mostly just bringing up like Smash Brothers stuff. I think it's kind of sad she doesn't have an alt with her mask on. Which I know she doesn't ever wear her like both the mask and have long hair, but I think it would be fun to do that. Let us see. Oh, this is cute. I'm like looking at some concept art of her. I think it's her Lord, or not her Lord outfit, her Great Lord outfit, and I have not seen it because I did not use her in my playthrough, but she looks very cute. And she has like a differently shaped like cape pattern that I think kind of looks like butterfly wings, but I'm not sure if that was their intent. They just kind of look like wings to me. I'm gonna look up other Valentine's Day alts. This is not anywhere close to Valentine's Day, but I do enjoy looking at cutesy like hearts and like white clothes. I don't know. Okay, I'm finding some weird stuff on Google. Not a fan of these things that I'm finding. Does Lucina have a wedding alt? No? Yes? In Warriors, I guess. Okay, interesting. I'm like not quite sure what I want to do with this information yet, but I do want to draw Marth, though. Marth Lucina, and not like long-haired Lucina. This is why I usually plan out what I'm going to draw before I do the stream, so I'm not just like looking at reference images the whole time. I'm not good with designing things on spot. I usually have to do a few passes on paper before I digitize anything. maybe I'll just add like cute little flowers or whatever. I don't know. Oh, you know who I could have drawn instead of drawing Lucina? I could have drawn what's her name? Soleil. I love Soleil so much. She's so cute and she's so gay. I love how they were like, okay, so we're gonna take Inigo being super flirty or whatever, and then we're just gonna pass that down onto his daughter. Just gonna same thing, not gonna change anything. I want to get further into Fates just because I love her. That's really it. Just like I don't know who I'm gonna have Inigo marry in Fates, but it's gonna be someone. I wonder if there's anyone with pink hair in Fates. I think the maids? I don't know if they're units. I assume they are, seeing as like they show up in Heroes. But wait, I say that, but I'm pretty sure Berkut is also a unit in Heroes, and you cannot play him. Who knows? Either way, I just I love Soleil's pink hair, and I think it's very adorable. I feel like I'm just staring at the canvas, hoping an idea will come to me. Maybe I'll pivot off of drawing the actual drawing for a second, and get to like some character design stuff. I don't usually do character design digitally, but let's get an idea. This is something that I've never really done or posted anywhere as a video, so aha. Get that person shape down. Oh. What shall she wear? Okay, so cape, yes, that's like mandatory. Maybe it'll be like a heart-shaped cape. I don't know how well that will translate with what the drawing that I have now, though. Maybe it could be like hearts around the top instead of like the tunic is like hearts around the top, instead of like the traditional collar design. Okay, we can keep the tiara. Ooh, because I'm doing my own thing anyway. I can make the mask like all pink and cute. Also change the design a little to be maybe a bit more round. I probably won't change it that much because I already spent time trying to figure out what it would look like at Ganon, but you know, I might change it a little bit. Maybe a bit fluffier hair. I don't know how much I'm gonna change what I've already done, but this is not how tall the sword would be, but falchion, but it has like flowers everywhere. I don't know how to design things, so I'm just like, I was just gonna add flowers. I'm just gonna look at everyone else's Valentine's Day alts. Gosh, Conrad's alt is adorable. I'm so happy that I got it. Like, it was one of the first things that I was like trying to roll for, like intentionally aiming for, and I got it eventually. It took a second, but I did get him. It thankfully did not cut it as close as with Lucina and Mia, though, where it's literally like, oh, well, you have like, I don't know, how like 8 hours or something left. Like, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna keep like the tunic that she has. I might change the shape a little though. I'm definitely gonna change the way that this drapes to be a little less like, to be a little bit more, I don't know, bright and festive as opposed to like, this is a dramatic scarf I'm wrapping around myself. And not, I feel like I'm just making everything heart shaped. I should probably stop that. Maybe make it like poof out a bit more so it doesn't just stick to her figure. What else got a... Okay, there was Connor. I think the other Echoes characters did. So we had, oh, some of these are so cute. Oh, Faye. If only you were better written, because her design is adorable. But, God, she really deserved better than to be just, like, obsessed with Alm. Maybe round this out so it looks a little less weird. Wow, they really, Lucina's alts are really something. I was trying to see if she like had any like other alts that I could reference off of that were more festive, but it's just like 2 armored things, Marth, and like the only ones she has are like Easter and Summer, and neither of them particularly look that much like the original outfits that she has. Maybe I'll just base this off of like her bridal outfit in Warriors. Because I feel like most of the other ones had like a reference, like they were referencing something. She looks so strange in the way that I've drawn her here. Wow, yeah, I kind of hate this. really dislike this silhouette. I don't know what's up. Hmm. I feel like she just needs to be wearing gloves. It feels weird without her like huge like cuffs. Hmm. Ooh, she had like a sash or something. She kind of has one in her bridal outfit. And we had just this be like the belt thing. Hmm. maybe instead of showing, I'll just lengthen this. I feel like when I translate this to like the actual thing I'm drawing, it's gonna look really ridiculous. But I don't know, just a general first draft. Maybe I'll like actually try defining what any of these things are. Okay, who has the weirdest design that I've seen? I don't know what weird, but I do think Ophelia is, her design is so ugly. I hate it so much, like the clothes. I think her face is really cute, but my number one thing about like fan service outfits is that to some extent I can accept them. I get their purpose, and sometimes I even enjoy them. However, when the fan service outfits are ugly as hell, I don't understand the purpose of them, because it doesn't make me feel attracted to the character. It just makes the character feel like they decided to wear this weird thing for like no reason and very little function. Because say like Camilla, her design is, it's very obviously fan service. You got that weird like I haven't seen like a full breakdown of her design, but I think like she's basically like ass out like in her armor. But I think her design is appealing in a way. I think that she looks very pretty and her design is cohesive. And even though parts of it don't make a lot of sense, I think it still looks good. And then say you take Ophelia and you're like, I don't understand anything about your outfit. Is it like a requirement that dark mages have to show skin or something? I really don't understand it. But the other I don't know, the other I haven't had an issue with the other dark mages. It's just her that bothers me so much. I similar feelings towards Odin. I don't understand the V-neck. It doesn't look appealing to me. At least he's wearing pants. That's the one thing I can say. At least he's wearing pants. Today we'll dress like a clown. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any other designs that I particularly don't understand. I don't remember if I've talked about Byleth on here, but I do rant about Byleth all the time. Individual parts of Byleth design looks really good. I love the leggings. I don't usually mind sort of, what is it, like the I don't usually mind like crop top style things. I don't mind the titty window. There's a lot of things I don't mind about her design. But altogether, it just doesn't look appealing to me. Surprisingly, even though there's like less skin, I find male Byleth's design more attractive. It seems like a little bit more streamlined and sleek. It has like, I don't know, sort of more like cool vibes as opposed to like I'm trying too hard to look cool. My headcanon was that Gerald let Byleth dress themselves. And then he doesn't know anything about like girls' fashion, so he kind of just went like, I don't know. I guess you can wear that. um, but yeah, I just think cohesively it doesn't look good in my opinion. Whereas male Byleth's design like ties together a lot nicer. Um, that's kind of my number one stance on fashion or like fan service fashion is that I'm okay with fan service fashion as long as it looks cohesive. It doesn't look like an absolute mess. Or obviously the characters are like really young. That yeah. But I don't know. Sure, like it sometimes like it doesn't make a lot of sense, and a lot of it has like internalized sexism that's like hidden underneath it. But if you're judging it as like an independent piece of work that's like somehow like separate from the rest of the world and its problems, then yeah, I don't particularly mind fan service. It's just gotta not look ugly, my friends. I'm trying to think if there's any others. I think it was the Dark Flyer outfits in Three Houses. Let me look this up. Okay, no, I don't particularly mind the Dark Flyers outfits in Three Houses. Like, they've always kind of looked a little ridiculous in the series. Um, I just always thought it was kind of funny that in a lot of the riding classes for the girls, they're not wearing like leggings or anything like that. I just worried about like sort of like chafing or something. I feel like there'd be a lot of issues with letting like your thighs be exposed. Um, on like just skin to seat or skin to like your horse. uh, like it looks cute, but I worry for them. Maybe I'll get rid of the tiara because I don't know if Mia, like the harmonized unit, has it. Yeah, she just has like a. She just has flowers in a braid, which I think the braid is very cute, so I think I'm gonna steal that. um, hmm. Maybe instead of making it like make it like a button down or something. Maybe I'll also make it white and then change this outer layer to blue. I'm gonna do like a color test before I start working back on the main drawing. Thank you. I wasn't sure exactly how this was gonna turn out. Because I am usually takes me a while to get a design of anything I like I'm satisfied with. Like even my OCs. Oh my gosh, I was trying to so I was working on like my main OC story, and I realized like wait, I should probably have like a like I have a time skip, but it's not. I call it the time skip, even though since it's the perspective from like the main character, uh, it's just like it's more like a montage in a way where it's like years have passed, but you get to like see it. I say this as if I'm like writing it as a comic or something. Like I'm just writing it, but there's a part in the story where the main character is like separated from all their friends, and then like studies and like becomes like a cool magic user or whatever. Um, it's like if a it's like if a rogue just decided to become a wizard one day. um, he's just like, okay, cool. I need some new outfits, new threads. So I designed that, and I went through like I don't know, like 6 completely different designs. And then I started like whittling down like what exactly do I want to keep from like each of the designs and working them. And I was like, I'm finally satisfied with the design, and I like drew up what they were gonna look like. And then like now it's not even like a month later. I think I already want to redesign it because I hate it. Um, but it's something I shouldn't feel like I should. I need to like tell myself like this was a design decision that I decided to make like not too long ago. Meanwhile, all the other designs that I've been working on were like years of trying to figure out like what works and what doesn't work for each of the characters, and I need to like be patient with myself. Like this, it doesn't have to be the final design. I can redesign it. It doesn't have to be perfect on the first go around. But yeah, it's just like when it's something that I like a story that I really care about because I've been working on this for years. That I need to be okay with like I need to remind myself to be like okay with making mistakes because I've started and tried writing this thing like 5 million times already, and it's never been perfect, and I don't think it will ever be perfect because it's not meant to publish. It's just like a fun thing that I've been working on. But yeah, I just need to be less of a perfectionist with it. Be okay with making mistakes and changing them. Because one of the reasons I didn't feel so bad about like working on again recently is because I haven't really actively drawn anything for it for years, and so a lot of the visual aspects were just gonna get redesigned completely anyway, and I felt less bad. Like, haha, look at how bad I was at drawing beforehand. But now that I'm reworking stuff that's more recent, it feels a little. Okay. What if there's like a huge like? What if in Falchion there was a heart? I'm so not creative, but Valentine's Day. Every time I hear the word revamped, I think of like they used to be a vampire, but now they're but they need to renew their membership to the vampire club. I'm gonna figure out what Falchion's gonna look like when I get there, but it looks something like this. Okay, let us do some color stuff. Let's work on colors. I'm gonna pull up Lucina's Easter outfit for inspiration. Oh, this. She like, I I don't know how I feel about this outfit because she like kind of looks cute, but I feel like the bunny suit is a strange choice for me. At least in my opinion, it looks a little strange. Right, let's go and do some color stuff. Is it weird to have this be black? Maybe that should just be white. I feel like something on here needs to be black though, but I'm not sure what. I've never liked bunny made kind of stuff. Not saying this. Yeah, for me it's really dependent on I don't know. It's kind of dependent on the design. I personally think like made stuff is really cutesy, but a lot of stuff is just like we're just gonna put frills on things, and I'm like that's not very appealing. Like I don't know. I feel like it needs to be done with like a little bit more intention. I like the cute like flouncy like dresses that have like a good sort of like shape to them. Um, I don't know. Everything seems very fluffy with made things, and just a lot of made outfits. I'm like, I don't really care about this. Um, but yeah, I don't really like. At least for heroes, I didn't really enjoy any of the bunny stuff. It's not really my thing. Ooh, yeah. I guess the boots can be black. Oops. I think I need to sample a darker part of this. Also, I need to make this a little whiter looking. It's clearer that I'm not just making something lavender. Maybe I can do the thing that they did here, which is that they made the cuffs. I don't know. Maybe the cape. That cape looking being black is kind of sad looking. Maybe I'll make the inside of the cape red, like how she has it in actuality. And then I'll have the outside also being a light blue. I feel like, okay, maybe I should just add the gold that I was planning on. So maybe it'll look more cohesive. Oh, and the brown. I forgot the brown. Yeah, that's kind of looking like Lucina. Kind of. Maybe I should make this part red. Then, I don't know what colors this could be. Oh yeah, I forgot I had boot cover stuff anyway. So maybe these can also be blue? Or gold? Or brown or something? Maybe I'll just make them gold, like gold toes. And then make this like more of a creamy color. Maybe I'll make the dress a bit more creamy colored as well. That looks kind of like a Lucina, I guess. Man, the gloves feel weird. Like, they feel kind of out of place, so I'm not sure what to do with them. Maybe I'll just make them brown. That's not Lucina's skin tone. God, she's pale. I kind of forget how pale anime characters are. I'm like, I feel like this is missing something still. Maybe just like a design or something on the glove itself? Fingerless gloves? I might just come back to that aspect of it eventually and then just work on the actual outfit. Gonna adjust some of the colors though. I'm gonna make this a little warmer. I think I'm chill with this for now. Okay, I gotta move that off to the side and turn off Bunny Lucina. And then get back to what I was drawing. What was I drawing? Is this it? Yes, I think this is it. Cool. Time to change around a lot of parts of this drawing. Thank you. A lot of the waist section of this is going to get covered up though, but hopefully it can still show off some of the details. Maybe I can do like a hero style rendering of this and then put it into like the little card images that I think that might be cute. can get rid of this shoulder piece. Wow, I just really realize I have a lot of front detail that's just gonna be lost. Or I guess like the upper part where it's like, oh, you want to see like the hearts and that's cute or whatever. It's like, no, you can't see that because it's gonna be hidden. But I do get to show off the cute puff sleeves and the bow. It's very much a flame-like design. I'm not really sure how I'm gonna show this. This definitely needs another pass. Oh wait, no, I was working on another pass. I had, where is it? There it is. Okay. That's chill that I didn't get too far into that. But do. I wish I had anything interesting to talk about, but nothing's really happened with my life. The only thing I can say is I've been playing through Royal and enjoying it. But I feel like I reached another point where I kind of burned myself out, like, playing it, because I just, like, marathon through Shido's Palace. It took me a few days, but, like, I got through it, and then I was like, okay, I'm done. Fun thing, with Shido's, like, new thing, I totally cheesed it. This has been my strategy for, like, all of the Persona 5 boss fights, where you have to, like, solo it. And even the ones that you don't have to solo it, I just use reflect. Just like anything that has a repel skill or anything that has a like, or anytime I can just use like Tetrakarn and Makarakarn, like that, I will use it. For example, like rank 8 with Akechi, with the fight that you do in that one, I did it solo. I did die once, because I'm an idiot, and didn't realize that there would be almighty skills in the arsenal. But I just kept, like, reflecting all the attacks. And then, yeah, same with Shido. I also just reflected it. I just kept using Makara Karn. And then I think I had a persona that reflected physical, so if it didn't, so if even if he did attack me, I don't think he does attack you physically, but if he did, it would just get reflected back on him. I think I attacked maybe like a total of twice, the whole, like, in that whole section. Yeah, there is, I don't know how to say these things. Like, I know you, have finished Royal, so I don't have to super worry about, like, spoiling you, but I'm trying to figure out, like, if this is gonna go up, and I don't want to tag it with, like, Persona 5 spoilers, then I'm trying to figure out a way to phrase this without, like, getting into, like, more endgame stuff. But in the final palace, where you fight, I don't know how to phrase this. In the final palace, where you fight an ally. Maybe that's too spoilery for people who would know, but who cares? I could, like, I just was like, I'm just gonna survive this using barriers and things like that. No one, yeah. You don't have to, you don't have to fight to defeat people. And then they were like, what did they say? There was something like, how could you do this or whatever? I'm like, I didn't do anything. You defeated yourself because you wouldn't stop attacking me. If you had just not attacked, I'd be forced to attack you. Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how this is going to, like, end in, yeah, I'm very curious to see how all of this ends, because aside from, like, fighting the palace ruler, I like, first of all, I'm curious what the ruler form is going to look like, because it's not a traditional, like, palace ruler, because we haven't seen the shadow version. We've just seen, like, them. At least so far. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I'm very curious to see what the final boss will look like and how this is going to, like, thematically resolve. Because the thing with all of the Persona games is that they all end with you fighting God, and 5 ended the same way, and so, like, there is no consequence of for the final boss, like, oh, they have to, like, be taken to jail now or whatever. I mean, you had secondary bosses like that, so, or, like, secondary final boss, like, you had, you have Akechi, and you have, Adachi, but I'm curious, like, they objectively did pretty wrong things, and I'm not saying what is happening with the final boss is ethical, but it's not, like, Akechi and Adachi were clearly doing crimes. I don't know what the palace ruler can be charged with. Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts in my head, but I'm not really sure which one of them is gonna happen. I can't believe I, like, kind of called it though on first of all, I've called it on the final palace ruler. Although I was like doubting it for a little bit. Like once we reached the end of November, I was like, I'm not really sure that this person is the final palace ruler anymore. Um, and then I called every like what was going on with Kasumi, but like not quite correctly. Um, yeah, I'm really curious. I enjoy that they're going a little bit more philosophical. I think because they've only ever had like the people who all oppose the Phantom Thieves ideology. It's all been very superficial, like their opposition, because they never really dove too deep into what they were doing. They're like Akechi was like, "This is wrong that you're doing this," and also I'm pinning the blame of the I'm pinning the blame of all these like murders on you. But from the player's perspective, they have no reason to doubt what they're doing is wrong because they've never killed anyone, and all of their actions have been objectively like good. Um, they haven't really harmed anyone with what they were doing. But I feel like there is potential for harm to be done. Kasumi like gets kind of close to it with the like it feels very it feels kind of like almost like Death Note in a way, her opposition, which it reminds me at least of Death Note. It's not exactly the same, where like people near the end of the series, people become like so complacent, and they're like, oh well, like Kira's gonna take care of if there are any wrong evildoers. Um, but yeah, but then she kind of switches her opinions on them. Like she doesn't really hate what they're doing. She kind of is like, well, the unintended consequence of what like the Phantom Thieves are doing is that like people are gonna start like expecting them to solve the world's problems, and like they shouldn't rely on them too much, which I think is a fair criticism. But it's not like she's saying that like no, they shouldn't be doing it because what they're doing is wrong. Um, but now we have someone who I don't. They're okay. They're not like necessarily completely opposing ideologies, um, but I will say that I'm glad that they're taking a new stance on what it's like to use the metaverse to change someone's perceptions of reality. Because there's a lot of really messed up things that you can do with that. Uh, and I just wish that they had dove more into it using in vanilla. Oh wait, no, that was a different dress design. Okay. Yeah. I so wish that Persona 5 like dove a little bit more into like the efficacy of taking each of their actions. But you know, they're like they're dumb teenagers, I guess. They think they're living out not really superhero dreams because I assume that this is all still pretty traumatic to them. But uh, they are they think that everything that they're doing is right. Um, and Ryuji gets angry when people think that they're not. And then they are like wrongfully blamed for doing things that they didn't do. But I don't know, I feel like there's a valid criticism to be had with essentially like changing like they say like freeing people of their desires, but you know, desires are a big part of what makes us who we are, like what we strive for. um, and like it clearly changes the way that they're framing it. Like desires change your perception of things, so the way you act and perceive reality are part of who you are. You're essentially changing someone fundamentally, and sure, yes, it's for the better, but it can be used in so many like wrong ways, and then they don't go into it. Like there's one time that you fear they're gonna do something wrong. It's when they don't know whether or not like stealing Kamoshida's heart is gonna kill him. Um, but then like as soon as they learn that it's not, they're like nothing to worry about anymore. Yeah, vanilla. Oh, vanilla's. I love Persona 5, but I mostly just love the potential of Persona 5. I like reading fic of Persona 5 because typically people have a lot more room and like freedom to like not care about like trying to spoon feed everything to the player, but just go deep into like the story and ideas and philosophy behind the game that they're playing. And it already comes with the sort of like pretense that you already know the main story, so they don't have to focus on it as much. And they can just focus on delivering like parts of the game that really weren't fleshed out, or like the writing. Oh man, I hate the writing of Persona 5. I love Persona 5. I hate the writing. Um, which is so. It's weird to me to say because I don't. Vanilla is not necessarily. I don't particularly love the gameplay. Um, I don't particularly love the story. I think it's pretty good. I mean, there are bad moments in it before this, but I think it's pretty good until you get to Okumura's palace. Once like all the plot stuff actually starts coming in, where it's like, oh, we're hinting at like the greater thing, the greater threat. It just becomes a mess. Um, but if you ignore, like, if you just take like up until Futaba's palace, it's like my favorite thing. Um, I think all the palaces are really fun. I think the like themes for each of them are like pretty solid. Um, I wish some of the confidants could have been like a bit stronger, but for the most part, it's not bad. Then you hit Okumura's palace, and then it's so draining. It's so stupid. Um, but yeah, I'm getting a lot more from Royal than Vanilla, and I'm glad that they're making these improvements. It's kind of sad that they had to go and release the game for it to re-release the game for it to be like decent, but you know, because I think Persona 4 had a really good, like it was really solid from the beginning. And then they released Golden, and I haven't played Golden, so I don't really know exactly how it plays out. But you know, people seem to love it, so I guess there's just more of the goodness. While Persona 5 felt really rushed near the end, they packed a lot of stuff in there that they didn't really have time to unpack. um, it was something. um, I'm still, yeah, I'm I feel like the end game of Persona 5 Royal, that was also in vanilla, is just it's kind of me. It was kind of just me slogging through it to only then hope like I can finally get to third semester and hopefully all of it's gonna be better again. Um, but you know, maybe there should be a blue ribbon. I don't know. Maybe the pink kind of looks good as an accent though. I'm not to the coloring phase yet, but just thinking about it. I feel like this is super edgy for me saying this, but Persona 3 really is my favorite Persona game. Um, just because I feel like the character, like the story was not that complex, really. But I think the characters are what really sold it. And the characters are usually like my favorite part of a story. It's not the plot. You can have a really simple plot, but if the characters don't work, then or you can have a complicated plot, but if the characters don't work, then they just don't work, and it feels weird to like inhabit them. and play with them or whatever. Um, but or you could have a really simple story that like has like interesting complex characters that make interesting decisions. I feel like a lot of like well-written kids media, like they have really episodic like simple plots, but because the characters are interesting, um, then like I don't feel like I'm watching something useless. But where was I going with this? Oh yeah, Persona 5, the characters felt there were parts of them that I really enjoyed, but I don't feel like they really respected them enough in the writing. I'm thinking about Yusuke. Oh my god, I feel so bad for Yusuke. Uh, just constantly treats him like a joke. Um, or I love On so much, but I feel so bad for like so many of her scenes being like, ooh, it's because she's so pretty or whatever. Like that's why she's in the scene, or we're gonna treat people harassing her like a joke. And same with Ryuji. It's like, ooh, hey, Ryuji's like a physical abuse victim. Let's beat him up for fun. And I'm like, but no, no. Um, like we're like part of their like character arcs being about like overcoming the person who'd caused them so much pain because of those two things. Why are we joking about it? um I don't get it. This hand is weird. Or Haru, who really didn't get enough to breathe at all. I love Haru, but I just don't have the same emotional connection to her because I simply don't feel like I know enough about her. um and then Morgana. It feels weird that you have yeah, it's so weird to me that at the end of Vanilla, or like the part of Royal that ends at Vanilla, um has everyone like talking about like rediscovering their resolve, or like Morgana's like, yeah, I don't like I belong, I don't need to be human or whatever, I know who I truly am. And then immediately after they're like, hey, guess what, we're gonna make them lose their resolve again and just like grant these wishes that they like have. I don't think that's a spoiler to say because that's been in the trailers. But you see, yeah, it's so weird to me that they're just like, well, let's instantly undo that, and like it's pretty quickly undone again. But it felt strange. But I feel like that kind of goes to show a lot of Persona 5's writing. Kind of feels like they've just been undoing the character growth that was really strong in the one palace that they got focus on. Minus Haru, because Haru doesn't get a focus. She has to be the backseat to Morgana's like character arc. Unfortunately. Yeah, I don't know enough about Marie. Like I know a lot of people who like her, and I feel like there has to be a reason why. Um, so I'm kind of reserving judgment on her until I play it. But I know just from what I know about her, I'm not particularly the biggest fan. So yeah. But then again, a lot of what I know about her is from the spin-offs, and like I think everyone agrees everyone kind of sucks in the spin-offs. Um, like Akihiko, I think one of like my favorite characters in the whole series. Like he's very well written. Like he goes through this whole character arc where he realizes like, oh, like I don't have to be, he doesn't have to be strong to like in that way. He doesn't have to be obsessed with strength to protect his friends. He goes through that whole thing. He finds it in himself to like that's his, he finds like a new resolve, a new meaning for life, to live on and help protect his friends. And then they're like, hey, guess what? Guess what? You know how he said he wasn't obsessed with like physical strength anymore and getting stronger? We're just gonna unwrite that in like Arena. And I'm like, but why? Why is he like that in Arena? At least like PQ, he was so annoying PQ, but at least they had the excuse of that is within um it's within the uh like same time frame. So there's the potential that like, oh, he didn't get to like he didn't go through his full character arc yet. But I don't know. So strange to me that they decided to just like completely ignore like a big aspect of himself. So I'm hoping that Marie, I think she's still gonna be probably a little annoying, but I'm hoping she's not gonna be as obnoxious as she is in the spin-offs. That is the hope. I don't know. I guess I get what they were going for with like the cool like emo girl gimmick. And I they did it very intentionally. They made her bad at poetry. I know that it was their intent, but it just doesn't appeal to me. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm so not excited to see how they write everyone in PQ2. I'm just worried that like, I swear to God, in all the spin-offs, I know there's a huge cast of characters, and you can't go super in depth with them. I'm not expecting full character arcs or anything. I'm just hoping for like fun character interactions that actually feel in character, and not like fun character interact or fun character interactions between like the ghost of their characters who are like only stereotypes and like archetypes that are annoying. Oh my gosh. Ooh, that's good that it's better. I'm excited to see like I'm in the middle of playing PQ because it was gifted to me by a friend, so I kind of feel bad if I just skipped straight to PQ2. But I know the writing is so bad in it. Yeah, I've seen similar reviews of it where it's like it's definitely like they've learned some things from like PQ original, but I'm very wary of it. I don't know. I just don't trust Atlas of writing. Just period. Like I don't trust like their writing team. Um, the only the only interactions that I'm okay with are anyone with Koromaru because everyone deserves to pet a dog. Yes. Oh my gosh, I love the music in PQ2. I love um, the battle theme is it's very good, and then the fact that you have like 4 versions of it, all of which are good. I think I'm like I don't know why, but I really enjoy music that has like a bunch of different versions that take like inspiration from different styles. Um, just mostly because I like to see how like they reinterpret the same source. Um, Although I think they are technically listed as different songs, but they all like mesh together well. That you could play all of them to not together, but like you can play all of them in a row, and you can definitely tell that they're take the same inspiration, and you can say like, oh, they're the same song, kind of. Hormones interactions with comedy. Oh no, I'm so yeah. It's really sad that like I get some people can be like overly aggressive with like loving like with certain like pets if they don't own one. They're just like, oh, I just want it. But I've never experienced like he doesn't do anything that's like so overly terrible. Um, as far as I'm aware. There's a lot of like the girls will pet Koromaru, and that's fine. But he just wants to like give the dog a little snuggle or whatever, and it's just like, oh no, I hate it. Like, but why? I've never, unless the dog was like deeply like traumatized by something, by like an abusive owner or whatever. Most of them are pretty okay with like hugging and like affection, unless you're like doing it for such a prolonged period of time. They're like, I want to get up, and you're like, no. But yeah, most of the dogs I meet, they're like so chill and they love getting pets and things like that. So why would that be any different? Like, it's not like Koromaru is some like completely sentient being. Although it seems Koromaru is self-aware enough to have a persona. I don't know how that works. Um, but yeah, I don't understand. Like, he is a dog. Like, they don't like. It's not like he's some human trapped in a dog's body. He is a dog. Like, he has dog instincts and he acts like a dog, even though he has enough self awareness to have a persona. He is a dog. Yeah, I'm confused. Yeah, dogs can do no wrong except for be mean to Kanji because he really doesn't deserve it. It makes me sad because I love Koromaru and Kanji's one of my favorite Persona 4 characters. I don't know. I would get why Teddy maybe wouldn't want to be like handled by people because he is like essentially a person, but Koromaru's a persona. Okay, time to turn on my reference again because I don't know what this hand is supposed to look like. Where's my reference? It's like, do another draw over. Shin Megami Tensei Persona. The next game is just going to only be cat boys. Uh, only cat boys. We'll get that before we get the next SMT game. Although, that reminds me, there is in fact a zine going on. I think that is all. It's Persona 5, but it's all the boys as cat boys, and I mean like all of the boys. Um, I saw an ad for it today, and I think my friend mentioned it to me. But yeah, that'd be kind of weird to think of having like a warrior cat style like sentient animals, but like they all fight with like cool personas. Yes! Oh my god, I love Nanako. I love Nanako so much, and I can't believe that she's not really shown up in anything else. um, and I get it, she's not technically part of the main cast, she's not a Persona user or anything like that, but I feel like it'd be fun for her to have like a cameo in something. Hey, Scramble, can you like have them so they go visit Inaba or something like that? And you're like, ooh, this is cool. There's like a mascot or something here. There's like we met a little girl at the shopping market while we were getting like supplies for our like cross country trip. Um, but no, they're just not gonna. I mean, I don't actually know. They could have like a trip to Inaba, but I haven't seen anything from it because I'm not super like caring a lot about spoilers for Scramble. That's mostly because like I'm not like it's an entirely new game. It's like a new experience. So I'm not like my enjoyment with it isn't hinging upon like the few new things that they add. It's but I have like in like I have avoided things from it, so I don't know what locations they go visit. Um, oh yeah, P4D. I forgot that she was in it. She's so cute and adorable. She deserves the world. Hey, what is up with the Justice Confidant and having like, brown hair and all their mothers are dead? It's so consistent. I don't know why. Yeah, I'm really curious to see what Scramble brings. I'm pretty sure they're gonna bring it into the West. Um, I guess depending on how well it sold. I'm not really sure about the numbers, but depending on how well it sold, the possible. I hope it gets a dub. Um, but I just hope that it gets ported over here because I love Muso games. I'm not good at them, but I love Muso games. Ha. Oops. They want justice for the dead mom. Yeah. I know, okay, I just suddenly remembered. I still can't believe there are people who hate Ken. Like, there are people out here who, like, genuinely hate this child. And I cannot fathom why. Um, yes, do I think that him trying to kill Shinji was not good? Yeah, of course. I don't think the, um, the solution to, like, murder is more murder. However, he was a very upset kid who didn't have a lot of good guidance in his life. And he learns from it. Um, like, maybe, yeah, he learns from it too late. He doesn't actually kill him, but, he still dies, and he led him into the situation um, that ended up killing him, but I don't know. I don't understand the hatred of Ken. Yeah, that's fair. Like, um, I don't really mind people like disliking characters or whatever because there are just some characters you don't vibe with, and sometimes it's just like I don't agree with their actions and I find them kind of annoying. But I don't get. I've seen so many people who are like Ken is the worst character that I've ever seen, or whatever, and I like. Are you really that passionate about hating him? Like, I think that yeah, I think it's perfectly fine to dislike his actions and what he's done, but I can at least sympathize with him. I might, like I said, I might be biased because I do like Ken, but um, I don't understand people who are like, I'm gonna go out here and shit on this one character. I'm like, just devote your energy to like something else, please. Yeah, because it's hardly ever like I don't know. At least from what I've seen, and what I've seen, I know is the loud minority of people. I mostly see people who are just like he should have been like cut from the game or whatever, which is so weird to me. Um, but like he's so like bad and annoying. Or, it's just the people who are very loud that I'm like I don't really understand why you hate this child that much. Yeah, devoted to characters that you love instead. Because it's yeah, I don't know. It's fine to dislike things, and it's fine to voice that you dislike things, but I don't really understand the point of like spending all your energy on disliking something. which I might be hypocritical, because one of my favorite ways to pass the time is like criticize like terrible things. I like watching bad movies, not because they're like entertainingly bad, because